Good afternoon. It is Monday, September 11th, and after work, Beth came over and has made quesadillas. So we'll have dinner, and it's been a long time since we've had movie day.
Oh yeah.
We've been watching, you know, some TV shows, Doctor Who, Witcher. It's great fun, but not quite the same. And we've gone and seen a few movies in theaters. That was okay. I think they were not bad. But just relaxing at home, having a meal, and enjoying movie day, we haven't done that in quite a long time. And Beth actually bought a movie not long ago. She's like, I want to share this. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just start with resuming movie day with The Last 5 Years. I believe I know that it is a musical.
It's a musical.
And it has
Anna Kendrick and
Girl from Twilight.
Anna Kendrick.
Girl from Twilight, got it. And
Jeremy Jordan.
Whoever that is.
The boy.
Yeah. And it's like a love story of some sorts. I don't know if it's like a happy one or a sad one. I don't need to. I don't know. It's a musical.
It's a musical.
And there are two sides to every love story. It says it right here. So yeah, we're gonna open this up and watch The Last 5 Years. Hopefully it doesn't quite take that long, but... And so I would give The Last 5 Years a 4.8 out of 10. It was a movie. To start from the back of the box, Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan star in The Last 5 Years, an adaptation of the popular musical of the same name. Jamie Wellerstein is a young, talented, up-and-coming novelist who falls in love with Kathy Hyatt, a struggling actress. Their tumultuous 5-year love affair and marriage is told almost entirely through song. That is true. Yes, it is. All of Kathy's songs begin at the end of their marriage and move backwards in time to the beginning of their love affair, while Jamie's songs start at the beginning of the affair and move forward to the end of their marriage. They meet in the center when Jamie proposes, right around the time where they actually have a bit of like a duet. Mm-hmm. Because it is all entirely through song. It's entirely through awkward feeling solo songs. Let's talk about stuff first. So while in the context of a movie, a lot of the songs feel very awkward, there are well-written songs.
They're great songs. Phenomenal 10 out of 10
This is a
songs.
series of some great, like, sort of story-driven music videos. like some good songs, some good... And the art direction, particularly wardrobe, makeup, hair, as well as lighting, does a great job in helping to guide you, especially from the beginning and end. Now, the way things shift during the middle, it can be kind of confusing. Wait, which side of their marriage are we on? Before or after being married? But towards the ends, like, all those things do a good job of helping you know when there's a jump. I only really got confused right after the proposal. Like, yeah. Oh wait, are we before or after? It was like only when it's really close that I got all that confused.
Right.
So it does that. And they do, again, these two, they sing great. These two sing great. Mm-hmm. So we have our lead characters here, Jamie and Kathy. And then we have background actors. There's no supporting cast. They are the only ones that sing. Nobody else sings. Mm-hmm. It is the most awkward feeling of musicals. Like, the thing that makes musicals, it doesn't do. It feels like it's like it was designed for a very off-Broadway, low-budget theater production. Mm-hmm. And that makes for an awkward feeling, big, decent budget, movie musical. because it feels like, where's everybody else? Like I don't think of another movie that's like, that only has 2 characters.
There's a book. It's not a musical. It's a I think it's a movie. Oh, but it's like just a guy and his son. It's they don't even have
The
names.
Road.
Yeah, The Road.
Yeah, The Road. I like that. There are more other characters in that story.
I've never actually seen the movie.
I have seen the movie. I have the movie. I actually read the book of The Road.
I read a good
We'll get to The
chunk
Road
of the
eventually.
book.
I sat down and
never
devoured
finished it.
that book in a single day after getting my mother to buy it for me while at Costco, with the promise of, no, I'll read a book. Because the movie wasn't, it was like right when it came into theaters, and I wanted to see it, and it wasn't in the area, like, because it was like a limited release. The movie theater locally had a poster for it, but didn't release it. I was upset. Anyways, that's a different movie. I quite enjoy that one. It's disturbing. The book is even more disturbing. We're on The Last 5 Years, though. This had less relevant characters than that. And that one didn't give names to the lead characters. Now, I only know her last name because of this. His is Seen. His name is Seen plenty.
Her name is Sung.
Yeah. Her name is Sung. Because of the gimmick that they did of altering the order of the story and telling it from different directions, which is, it just feels very gimmicky. Like, we have kind of a second-rate romance story that's tragic, and we want people to notice it, so we tell it in a weird timeline. So, because, that was, it just felt very gimmicky of that. But because of that, it also, like, we were I feel like quite later in the story before I picked up on their names. When there were songs that could have been much earlier in the story that, like, this is a great early on song to help you know who you're talking about. You know, like where he sings her name over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh, okay. His name's pretty easy. It's seen written a lot because he's the writer. To be fair, also, we see him demonstrating more, like, the character acting skills. Both of them are fine actors. But, like, as far as the skills of the character, we see him demonstrating more of those skills. In his, I made a story, but he acts the whole thing out.
But she's a struggling actor. It kind of means that she might not be the greatest.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a fine thing. It is very much a story where she has goals and aspirations, and honestly probably doesn't have the talent to do it when she gets together with a guy who initially is also a struggling writer. No one's seen his manuscript yet, but it gets caught pretty early into the relationship because it's his second song that he's gotten picked up by Random House, a great publishing, and he's like, oh my gosh, yes, it's probably about a year maybe into their relationship. It's a pretty big jump on that one, I think. Maybe a little bit less. Because again,
no timelines. No visual of like when things are either.
No,
it's
some with the date, like some like.
Yeah, there's a couple points where
some
there's a year at a certain event, certain things are on there. But even on those,
it's pretty vague.
Yeah, there's never like a subtitle at the bottom that says like this date, this time. You know, it doesn't do any of that.
Not proper timelines.
No.
But vague ones, enough for you to get the gist.
Yeah, and otherwise there's also like when you go back to you saw in his song they were in outfits, and now you see at the end in her song they're in the same outfits.
Right.
There's things like that to piece it together. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying there's nothing to say like to easily just be like, oh, this is the order. You could rearrange it properly.
No, but it's also one of those musicals that because I have listened to the original Broadway soundtrack of it, which has the writer of it singing in it. They do that thing where they alter some lines to make it fit in with the times. So initially she has a line talking about she found his book at Target. The original one is Borders. the bookstore Borders,
Mhm.
which no longer exists. Especially it no longer existed by the time this movie came out. So they did some of that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where like it's a fun story. It's kind of sad.
It's quite sad. It's incredibly sad.
It is.
Because there is 0 point of it where I can be happy and enjoy the romance.
No.
Because we start, the first song is her song, everything fails.
Yeah.
So even when we see them being all happy go with his song, things are fun, it's still, this is gonna be tragic.
It's twinged with sadness throughout it, yeah.
And because they back and forth, they just bounce back and forth of, seeing her falling into misery as we see, them otherwise be happy at the beginning, like nothing could ever go wrong. Until we switch in the marriage and we find out that the reason she fell into misery is because he's a nightmare of a person who doesn't deserve to be in any relationship and doesn't value a relationship. He is
I do think, though, because I've listened to this soundtrack over and over on repeat because I love the soundtrack, I do believe that there is hints for it in even the happy songs.
Yes.
Of how he is.
There are. Like, even just the fact of, I like you, and he talks about, in their first song, about all these other women, when he's, literally his first song of, I couldn't be anyone but you. I've had long list of women, just long list of women.
It was a long list of women, but it's also very much like a he, and he says it later in another song, where he just needs to be in love. He needs to have the girl and have a girlfriend, and he's very much that type where he's like, I'm relying on that. And
then when he has it, he's not happy with it.
He
wants something else.
I think he was happy with it until he was locked into it with the marriage. I think that was because, you don't see him being unhappy until post-marriage. He's engaged, they marry, he does the proposal,
and then he's immediately,
and then his next
I want
song
someone else.
Is he just realizes, hey, I'm getting a lot of female attention. He's also a well-published author, and I'm gonna be honest, there's some not great women out there that don't care if a guy is married or not, if they're interested in him. So it's very much pulling on both of those, and
But it keeps me from enjoying the romances, I guess is my point. It's like, even as going through, it's like, I can't enjoy this romance.
No,
because then we're going backwards in her story to where she's, still happy and,
she goes
disenchanted.
from tragic to happy. But I feel like she gets to a better, she is very much not totally blindsided because she has a second song where she's like calling him out on having affairs. But her third song is, while there's a little bit of issues, is she's still very much trying to be her best.
In her final song,
Yeah.
the comment that she makes is, while it's clear from other songs, she knows that he's sleeping around, she's still willing to try to make it work and try to work through it, but he's not willing to.
Yeah,
So
her
no,
first song.
her first song is very much he's making this decision when really, she's the one with every right just to walk away from him. But he's the one that made it's
he's very selfish, but it's still, they've got really
and then
good
there's
songs,
the great
they've
song
got
he has where
really good voices.
he's just spending the whole song trying to build her up about how I believe in you, and then it's very clear that really it's I believe you for the point of trying to manipulate you into doing what I want you to do.
And again, yes and no. I mean, that's again before they're married. I think he's still in his idealistic phase. I don't think he fully realizes, but I do think he was attracted to an ambition in her and doing things. And so when she's struggling and upset and he's wanting to be more about himself, it just it doesn't work. And yeah, he's very, very selfish. Not a happy story.
No, it's not a happy story.
Great song.
And it's not a happy story, but it's promoted as a love story.
Yeah.
It's a hate story. This is a hate story. This is a hate story.
It's not a hate story. It's a tragic love story.
But not in the good way.
No.
Because I enjoy a good tragic love story where they end in love but like someone dies. Or those kind of tragic love stories
no.
I can really get into.
This is the one where
and it
she's
makes me cry.
tragically in love with a man that is too selfish to appreciate her.
Yes, and that just hurts.
It does hurt, but it's such good songs. You got some real fun, quirky songs, even in the middle of them.
Yeah, no, there's some fun stuff, and they just...
And also just all of the heartbreaking songs are such great, powerful ballads. They're so just... good, angry, like, upset song. Like, she's got a good, angry song where you can tell in the beginning she's, like, trying to make it work. Things are a little bit awkward. I feel like they do it really well. Like, yes, it's awkward.
They better. They're carrying the entire movie because there's nobody else.
They're great, though. They're on... It's worth a watch. Even though his grade of it is so low, it is worth a watch. It's like the songs are worth listening to. It's still a solid musical. Like, it's a fun experience.
Beth enjoys it.
Yeah.
But hey, at least we got back to movie day.
I have no regrets. This is a solid movie.
No? Okay, well, I'm glad you had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, thank you for joining us. Join us as our journey continues. Bye.